This is the story of Basic Energy Corporation, its humble and modest beginnings, its achievements, distinctions and milestones in the last 50 years, and the long, challenging, if not difficult roads it took to be where it is now today. Years ago, back in 1968, a group of 7 businessmen and women, namely founded Basic Enterprises Incorporated as an agro-industrial firm registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission on September 19, 1968. 3 years later, the company ventured into oil exploration and base metals mining. With a new purpose and a new name to reflect the transformation, Basic Petroleum and Minerals Incorporated embarked in oil exploration in the offshore areas in Palawan and the Sulu Sea. By 1972, BPMI had the largest offshore acreage in the Philippines of 5 million acres. This strong asset base became BPMI's footing for the listing of its shares. In October 1973, the Manila Stock Exchange and the Makati Stock Exchange approved the listing of BPMI's shares. BPMI then evolved from a close family corporation to a publicly listed corporation with diverse groups of shareholders. At this time, BPMI was led by its board of directors, with Jose C. De Venecia Jr. as the chairman of the board. Ago from its public listing, BPMI demonstrated rapid growth of its offshore oil and gas concessions. It was in 1975 that BPMI, together with its partners, made its first well drilling in the Sulu Sea and Northwest Palawan. And in 1976, the Nido 1 well in Northwest Palawan became the Philippines' first commercial oil discovery. By 1979, BPMI, along with its partners, completed the drilling programs of 7 exploratory wells in various basins, one which is the Matinloc 2 well drilling project, another major oil discovery. In 1980, the company purchased 51% of Jetty Oil Philippines Incorporated, which then owned more than 500 gas stations and 7 regional depots throughout the country and became the first integrated private Filipino oil company. Closing this chapter in the company's corporate life, in 1980, Oscar C. De Venecia became the president of the company, while Jose C. De Venecia Jr. remained as chairman of the board. 1981 marked BPMI's entry in international oil exploration, with its engagement as operator for the international consortium owning the concession rights over the entire offshore and onshore areas and the Emirate of Ajman, United Arab Emirates. The company, along with Land Oil, thus became the first company in the Philippines and in the ASEAN region to get a foothold in the Middle Eastern oil arena. In view of its consistently healthy financials, BPMI became the first Philippine oil exploration company to be upgraded to the big boards of both the Manila Stock Exchange and the Makati Stock Exchange in 1983. On October 7, 1987, following his election as congressman representing the 4th District of Pangasinan, Chairman Jose C. De Venecia Jr. handed over the chairmanship of BPMI to the President, Oscar C. De Venecia, who was formally elected as chairman of the board and concurrent president of BPMI. This decade ended with a banner year for BPMI, with a major oil discovery in 1990 in the West Linapacan oil well, the biggest oil discovery in the Philippines at that time. On its 25th year in 1993, the company realized its vision to be a major Philippine company in the exploration, production, and supply of oil in the country, increasing its acreage and with varied participating interests and varying progress of developments in a string of oil concessions.
The 25th anniversary of BPMI fittingly carried the theme Expanding Horizons. During these years, under the leadership of my father, then BPMI Chairman and President, Mr. Oscar C. De Venecia, BPMI took strong strides in oil exploration activities. Inspired by the oil discoveries in Nido 1, Matinloc 2, and West Linapacan oil fields, BPMI intensified acquisition of more participating interests in pioneer areas. It was also during this time that BPMI prepared for the imminent decline in oil production of its oil assets. The company planned a diversification program into the fields of petrochemicals, industrial gas, fine crystals, gaming, and water purification and distribution. The program's timely implementation in the following years provided the company's resources when oil revenues were down. The first 25 years of the company was undeniably a period of prolific growth. From a simple, close family corporation to a vibrant, forward-looking company. That made its people so proud of the company's accomplishments and so spirited to begin another pursuit for continued growth and more progress in the years to come.
With dwindling oil production in the Nido and Matinloc fields, in 1996, BPMI pursued a diversification program with a wholly owned subsidiary, Basic Diversified Industrial Holdings. The first in the company's diversification program was a polypropylene plant project located in the government's petrochemical complex in Limay, Maribeles, Bataan, which became operational in 1997. Related to this project is the investment of the company in an industrial gas plant that was to address the gas requirements of locators in the petrochemical complex in Bataan. Likewise, the company invested in the Bataan Power Plant, a 22.8 megawatt bunker-fired power plant which was fully commissioned in 1997. The first phase of the fine crystal projects took off also in 1996, with a plant and warehouse located at the Clark Special Economic Zone. The company further invested in the Mindoro Power Plant, a 7 megawatt baseload power plant located in San Jose Occidental, Mindoro, which became operational in 1995. In the gaming and leisure business, the company invested in Olympic Gold PLC, which was engaged in online lottery, casino, gaming, and leisure activities, and which launched the exclusive online lottery project in Ukraine in 1997. The last project under the diversification program was the investment in a 30% stake of Waterman Philippines, a water purification and distribution company, the local franchisee of Waterman USA. The diversification program gave rise to a rationalization program where Basic Petroleum and Minerals Incorporated was transformed from an operating company into an investment holding company and was renamed Basic Consolidated Incorporated with the following subsidiaries. In 1997, the company's stockholders' equity reached 1 billion pesos and joined the ranks of the 1 billion peso companies in the country. After the enactment of the Biofuels Act in 2006, Basic Petroleum Corporation took a bold step to venture into the development of renewable and alternative energy. In 2007, to signify its entry into a cleaner, greener energy industry, the company included among its primary purposes the development and production of alternative and renewable energy resources, and changed its name from Basic Petroleum Corporation to Basic Energy Corporation. It increased its capital from private placements from 500 million pesos to 2.5 billion pesos to fund its alternative and renewable energy projects. To lead the company into this new field, Oscar L. De Venecia Jr. assumed the position of President and COO of the company. Basic Energy Corporation began its foray in the renewable energy industry. That year, it was awarded by the Department of Energy its first geothermal energy service contract in Mabini, Batangas. In the same year, the company commenced its ethanol project in Zamboanga del Norte, starting with a feedstock development program using sugarcane and cassava produce. However, in 2011, the biofuels market, both locally and globally, slowed down, triggering the suspension of this project. The company was also awarded by the Department of Energy additional geothermal service contracts in the frontier areas of Iriga Camarines Sur, Maribeles Bataan, East Mangkayan in Benguet, Mountain Province and Ifugao provinces, and West Bulusan, Sorsogon. The same year, the company ventured once more into oil exploration, this time in Central Java, Indonesia. After having drilled 5 out of 10 contracted wells, 3 of which produce oil, the rules governing oil well projects were changed by the Indonesian government and the project was in the meantime deferred in 2015. It was timely that in 2016, the Department of Energy gave its go signal for the Mabini Geothermal Project to proceed with its drilling program. The first exploratory well was spudded in July 2016 and was completed in February 2017. At present, the company is preparing for the drilling of a confirmatory well to prove the presence of higher temperatures that will support advancing the Mabini project into the development phase that will involve the drilling of production wells. Cognizant of the need to create revenue streams for its continued operations, the company explored opportunities to invest in projects with shorter gestation periods while it continued to pursue its long-term geothermal projects. The company thus looked at the solar power projects both here and abroad. Last year, the company had the opportunity to participate in the EPC project for a 220 megawatt solar power project in Minbu, Myanmar. The company acquired significant stakes in 2 Thai companies engaged by the project developer to handle the supply of materials and equipment and the construction requirements of the power plant. The project is targeted to be completed by the end of this year, with the power plant slated to commence commercial operations by the first quarter of 2019. The equity investments in these companies are expected to bring the much-needed revenues for the company in the immediate term.
Basic Energy Corporation has broadened its horizon in the search for renewable energy projects here and abroad, and set its sight on being counted among the country's leaders in the energy sector. We shall continue to look for other energy projects both in the country and abroad, and in line with our mandate to develop a balanced project portfolio with projects ranging from short to long-term gestation periods.
Basic Energy Corporation capped its 50th year in operation as a full-fledged renewable energy company. With the Mabini Geothermal Project on track, the Frontier Geothermal projects likewise moving forward, and the EPC project nearing its completion. The 50 years of Basic Energy Corporation is indeed a legacy and inspiration for the next 50 years, as the company aims for sustainable growth and long-term viability, driven by its new vision to be a major Philippine energy development and power generation company. To carry out its mission and achieve its vision, the company shall be guided and directed by its board of directors, its advisory board, and its officers.
We are confident that having laid the foundations for the company to move forward, Basic Energy Corporation is certainly on its way to another new and strong beginning, filled with hope and optimism for a brighter future. With the support of our shareholders, the guidance of our board of directors and advisory board, the hard work and determination of our officers and employees, together we shall achieve our aspirations for the company's continued growth and success.